What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Planet Coaster. This is episode 2 now on the series. In the previous episode, we only just got established. So what we're going to be doing today is trying to expand the park a little bit, maybe add another ride, something along those lines. What I did off camera was added a little bit more, actually a lot more, decoration and plant life over here to the Wild Blue ride that we have. So our Q scenery rating is now 100%. I also changed the sequence of the ride, added another main sequence, so the ride length is a little bit longer, but the actual queue time hasn't changed really at all. I think it's 24 minutes. It went up I think it's 2 more minutes than previously, but what that did is actually it increased our prestige level to a 925. I think it was in like the 300s or something last time. So things are looking really good for us under Wild Blue. We are losing a little bit of money, but you guys will notice we do have a decent amount of income there. Something else that I did as well is added a little bit more decoration and scenery around our shops over here, around the concession stand. I also had to do something, guys. I had to do something about this path here. People kept cutting in through the path and walking alongside the building super close. They were like glitching through the building, kind of like what people do back here. So we might have to tackle that as well and try to figure out maybe a different path system for behind the concession stand. But we do have a little bit of decoration over here now, which does actually help the customers come towards our concession stand and spend some money there. The biggest loss in profit that we're seeing right now, I would say, is probably in our shops and facilities. You guys can see we're negative $495 right there. Park management is also a big thing, but we do have to pay our employees, so there's not really a whole lot we can do there. We have a couple new challenges as well. We completed 2 challenges. I believe one was have a average scenery rating for all rides over 80% for more than a month. And you guys will notice we're on year 3 down in the bottom right hand corner. So we've been open for a while. We've had 3 years now only having 1 ride and 3 shops. So it's kind of an interesting park, you could say. The other challenge that we completed was, I believe, have $1,000 worth of income for a month. Yeah, our monthly profit had to be $1,000, and we did do that. So what I did was close down the ride so I could add another main sequence, and then once I opened it, wait a second, I didn't even show you guys this. Look at how much we're charging people to enter this ride, $27. But since our prestige level is way higher than before, I was able to change that, and actually, this is probably the max we can charge, but people are still willing to pay higher amounts just to get into that ride. So that is that definitely helped us out. But that's how we were able to get our monthly profit up to $1,000. So we're starting to lose money. Again, hopefully we can pick things up. Maybe the shops will help us out here. It looks like we're starting to get a line out front of the Cosmic Cow milkshakes. So something that we have to achieve now is ride rating of 200. Our ride rating is 156. So if we add another ride, I'm thinking maybe we'll be able to achieve that one. Another one that we could probably get is obtain an overall staff happiness of at least 81% just for 0 months, just for a short time. Our staff happiness is 70%. So something that we could do to improve that is, of course, pay our employees more. But if we do that, our park management is going to go down even more than it already is. So we're going to be losing more money if we do that. But with that being said, we may be able to get, I think it was $1,000 for completing one of these challenges. Another new one that we have is have 39 people visit your restaurants for 1 month in a row. These are not restaurants. There is a separate restaurant that I believe we'll have to actually research. Let me see if we have restaurant. We don't. So we would have to start research on the restaurant itself. So total cost anywhere from $100 to $250, and monthly cost from $100 to $500. So it would take about 15 to 30 days to actually fully research that. We could do that. Oh no. Okay, we got to pause right now, boys. So this is where problems start to arise. Wild Blue has broken down. We have a full queue of people, and you can see they've already turned around. They're going to exit the queue, and the only place that they're going to go is either out or to the concession stand. So this is where we start to lose quite a bit of money. We have $800 right now. Let's see what new ride we could get in here to hopefully get some people, instead of just going to the concession stand or leaving, maybe we can get them to go over to a new ride. But we are gonna have to take out a loan, it looks like. Most of these rides are pretty expensive. So let's see, what do we got here? We got Teacups. That actually wouldn't be too bad. I feel like a lot of people really enjoy Teacups, and it's fairly inexpensive. We'd have to, of course, get into the $900 range, but if we take out another loan for just $1,000, I think we'll be able to get that going. So let's go into our finances here under loans. We'll add another loan, 25% interest. The interest kind of killed us, I'm gonna be honest. The interest definitely killed us on the last one. Total interest paid was only $279, but we were in the negative for our monthly income for the entire time. I had to fast forward like 2 more years just to get us back into the green. So let's go ahead and, I guess we'll get a loan. So we have 1,800. Let's change this to $100 so it doesn't hurt us that bad. And then let's see if we can't get some Teacups going on here. I'm gonna expand this path. We're gonna make it as wide as it can be, 33 feet again. I kind of want to maybe branch the path off, maybe if we go this way. So let's try doing this. We'll bring the path over to here. We could also branch the path off this way. I don't think that's a terrible idea either. So let's do that. We'll bring the path out to there. That looks pretty good. Obviously, you guys know the name of the game is Planet Coaster, and we don't have a single coaster yet. Let me show you guys how much coasters cost. If we go to a blueprint coaster, we'll sort this by price low. So the cheapest, wait a second, is that the cheapest roller coaster? I didn't think it'd be that bad. I figured it'd be like 2,000 bucks. $3,700 for the cheapest roller coaster we can get. And it's pretty big. It's actually really big, but it is fairly skinny, so we could kind of squeeze this in any sort of crevice that we needed to. But we don't have $3,700 to buy a coaster. We'll definitely get there, but we have to start out with getting some of these smaller rides. So for Teacups, I think a good place to probably put this would be up close next to Wild Blue right here. Now what I want to do is try to place this down and then copy this exact queue and just place it over here for the queue for the Teacups, because we know the scenery rating for that one is already 100%. So let's try to get this squeezed right in here, and that should leave us plenty of space to put. Ooh, I don't know. Do we start with the queue? I think we might have to start with the queue. Let's see if we can't copy this. Try to get everything included, and then we will uncheck that. Okay, so hopefully this works, guys. I have not tested this at all. We can merge the scenery into a scenery group, or we could straight duplicate it. Let's try the duplication quick. If we rotate this around, it looks like we got most of everything. So we have to keep in mind where our entrance is going to be. Let's try to do something like that. What if we place it here, try to snake our path through, so we could have a path go in through here, right? And then we'll have it exit over here, and maybe the Teacups will be back here. I don't even know if we can place the Teacups there, but let's give it a shot. Ooh, it doesn't look like we can place it back here. It might be too far out of the zone. I guess that's not gonna work then. Okay, well let's just undo that. That's not a huge deal. Maybe we could do it here and have Teacups somewhere in there. What if we rotate it over here? Would that work right there? The scenery looks pretty good. We might have to move this ironwood back a little bit, that pink plant right there. But everything else seems to look okay. Let's try to put in the Teacups now. And hopefully this works, guys. We could do the Teacups here, but that kind of cuts off our path. Also, we could just get rid of some of those rocks. Let's expand the path a little bit more so we can get that figured out. We'll take the path off this way. 2 more should probably be enough. Okay, now let's see if we can't fit the Teacups in here. Try to get it as close to the path as we can. There we go, that looks pretty good. We'll place that down there. Okay, and then this rock right here, we're gonna delete that. This other rock seems to be glitching through just slightly, so what if we just move it in a little bit? Something like that ought to do. Place that one there. Okay, I don't think this looks bad. Everything is kind of floating though. I don't really like. Everything is like a foot off of the ground. Let's see if we can't adjust all of them at once. Go back to our multi-selection tool here. Select all that. Deselect the teacups. We're at 100 and... Oh, that's right, because we deleted a rock. Okay. So, now that we have everything selected, let's try to move it all... Oh, God. Let's try to move everything down right here so we can get a decent view. Try to move everything down so it's just where it was previously. That looks decent. That looks pretty good. I'm happy with that. We'll select, or we'll leave that there. Is that on the ground now? Okay, that looks way better. Now we just have to get our path sort of snaked through here. We'll add a little bit more decoration over here. Maybe we can just copy and paste this section or something like that. So let's try that here. We'll try to drag and select all of this. Deselect that beech tree right there. Duplicate this. Let's see if we can't rotate this around. Okay, that looks pretty good right there. 87 bucks. Add a little bit more decoration. And it doesn't quite close the gap here, but that's not a huge deal. If we take this red plant, angle it just a little bit more and stick it right there, I think that should fill the void pretty nicely. Take a look at our path now. So if we come through here, we got decoration on all sides. Kind of a bit of overhang here, but I think that was there in the previous one as well. And then we'll have the entrance right here. That actually looks really nice. We're gonna move these rocks around a little bit more. Try to get it so it doesn't look exactly the same as the other side, but pretty dang close. I would say in looking at this, you would start to think that maybe it's the same thing, but you wouldn't know for sure, especially if we get rid of that. It looks totally different now. Well, not really, but it's a little different. I think it'll be okay. Okay, so on the teacups, now what we have to do is start with our entrance. The entrance is going to be right here in the center of this area. And then let's just start with getting our queued up path going here. We're gonna use the same wood that we used before. And we're gonna try to snake this through in the same way we did last time. So let's try to do this. Hopefully everything works out okay. Now it's not at the same angle. Maybe if we turn off angle snap. Oh yeah, that'll help us out. Let's go back in that case. So if we turn off angle snap here, we're gonna be able to snake everything through much, much easier. There we go. Kind of turn it a little bit right here. The only problem is I don't want any of the plants to really intersect the path. So that's the main thing that I'm looking at here when I'm doing this. That looks good here. Kind of angle it back in a little bit. Ooh, this section we could almost do a little wider. What if we take that to 13 feet around the corner? Maybe back it up a little bit more. What if we do something like that and then we'll turn it in and then take it back to being 10 feet wide. There we go. And then the entrance we will place right about there. How's that look? It's still a queue. It's not perfectly squared up like this side, but that's okay. That's not exactly what I was going for anyways. I think this is gonna look good, guys. I think this is gonna look really, really good. I just wanna make sure we don't have to move anything else. I think it looks okay. All right, so we have the entrance figured out now. I think I'm gonna bring the exit out maybe right here. So if we click back on the teacups, place exit. I'm gonna place the exit as close to the scenery as I can. Let's get another path. And then the path will be this dark red, same thing as we had before. We don't want it 33 feet wide. What about 13? Ooh, that looks pretty good right there. If we can get this angled in just right. Right there. Oops. Sort of just deleted a path. Okay. That looks pretty good. Shoot. You know what? I think we'll just leave that as empty space. That'll be okay. The other thing that we could do, since we did choose the tropical place, we might have to add in a little bit of grass around here. I don't really want there to be a ton of sand everywhere. I realize it's tropical, but there's no water around, so I don't see why there would be any sand. But we do have teacups now, which is awesome. Now, let's try to... Why is it not? There we go. Let's try to change the color here. We have the Q scenery rating at 100%, just as I suspected. Now, if we go into sequence, it's going clockwise, then anti-clockwise. And those are the only two options. But if we add another clockwise and another anti-clockwise, we'll test that. It'll have to test when it's actually playing, but the prestige rating was not good. So I'm gonna add a little bit more sequence here, and hopefully the same thing that happened with Wild Blue will happen with our Teacups, and we'll get a little bit higher prestige rating. Current price is $4.50. I think we'll leave that as well until we know whether or not we can increase the value. Ride colors, this is something that we could change. What if we did this in our 2G style colors here? Let's try to get a nice light blue, almost teal. That looks pretty close. We'll do that there. What does this change? Okay, that's the inside stripe, so we might want to leave that white. This pink is actually pretty close to the pastel pink, except it needs to be more hot pink and less red. That one's too pink. There we go, that looks pretty good. And then what's the red change? The flowers. Okay, so we could do the flowers, maybe our highlighter yellow. That looks nice. Got to change the operator's colors up. So for his hat, let's do the pink. For his shirt, we'll do the blue. For his shorts, I think that's his shorts, we'll do yellow. And then for his belt and everything, should we do white or black? Let's do white. I feel like white looks a little bit better. And there we go. We do also have some music here, which I think helps in our prestige score. But there we go. We got some 2G Teacups over here. That looks pretty nice. So if we hit play now, all of these guests are going to start funneling out of here, and they're going to go one of two, I guess one of three places now. They'll either exit immediately, go over to the concessions, or try to go over to the Teacups, except for the fact that it's going to be testing. This is going to be close. So we're going to have to test this thing immediately. Please work. Why are you not going? There it goes. Okay, so it's going to start the test. Now here's all the people leaving Wild Blue. We're going to see where they all decide to end up going. It looks like most of them are starting to go towards the concession stand, which is good. We're not going to lose a ton of money, but our monthly profit is steadily decreasing. We're at negative 900 bucks now. Let's see. Do we have a mechanic out here? Yes, we do. Okay, he's getting Wild Blue all fixed up. I love how the operator doesn't move. There's just a fire and sparks in front of her, but she's like, yeah, I don't care. I'm not going anywhere. Okay, yeah, we do have a pretty decent amount of people exiting, though, just because the testing isn't quite done on the Teacups. Let's fast forward here, and we're going to see if we can't get the Teacups open for business. Okay, is that testing complete? Nope, they're turning around. Okay, testing not complete. We got to keep going. I forgot it's going to go clockwise, then anti-clockwise, then clockwise, then anti-clockwise. Okay, prestige level increased slightly. Maybe when we open it, it's gonna have the new reputation, so that'll give us a 10% prestige. But people are running over to it, so that's nice. Since we almost doubled the prestige, I feel like we should add a little bit more money here. Maybe let's do $8. Actually, let's try for 9, not 98. Let's see if people would pay $9 to get in. Dude, they totally would. That's perfect. What about 10? People are paying 10 bucks. Teacups is a really good value is what people are saying. Okay, so maybe we should up it to 12? Those people turned away. Let's see if this changes at all. 6% say Teacups is... Okay, 7% say Teacups is too expensive. We'll go back to 10 bucks. I feel like that's a pretty good price. I know it sounds crazy, but we're trying to make everything as expensive as possible because we need to get this money so we can expand the park even more. But now that we have the Teacups in, we should see sort of like a little bit of a double income here. Let's see, Wild Blue has broken down. Challenge complete. What challenge did we complete? Achieve a ride rating of 200. Nice, so we can claim that reward. That's $1,000 in our pocket. Obtain an overall staff happiness of at least 81%. Let's see why they're unhappy. I'm gonna pause it. Why are you unhappy? I can't complain. I've got it pretty good. Okay, pay is fair. Money really isn't an issue. I almost wonder if we should try to maybe train up the staff a little bit. That might increase their staff happiness. I guess I'm content with my job. My pay is pretty good. Okay, but then they're gonna think that they're worth more, so we're gonna have to pay them more. Maybe we'll be able to get away with like $5 because our park management is now even lower than it was before. Oh, we didn't change the look of this lady over here. And this will do white. There we go. All right, now she matches the operator color. That's basically like the ticket handler, which is weird. I've never been to a theme park where you have to pay for the individual rides. I've only been to theme parks where you pay up front and that's that. So this is kind of a little bit of a different situation than I'm used to, but I guess people aren't complaining. They seem to really enjoy it. So let's see, our profit is going down $50 pretty steadily. It's teetering. It's staying sort of in that range. We're not necessarily losing money, but we're not really gaining a ton either. We'll see how this plays out. We're up to 115 bucks, but then we're gonna have to pay our employees, so it's gonna go down and yada yada yada. Maybe we'll be able to at least break even this episode, and everything will be good. But teacups are looking nice. We do have to change operations. There we go. We need to make this full load with no waiting time. That way, as many people as possible can get in on the teacups. It holds quite a bit of people. So, I mean, this should be a pretty good thing for the park here. We also don't have a name to the park. We'll have to name it maybe, I'm thinking since we're in the tropical region, maybe Oasis would be a good name, but we don't have any water rides, so we'll see. Or we could have a poll to name the park. That might be kind of fun. Sort of have you guys help me name it. Maybe I'll think of a couple of different options or take your guys' suggestions from the comments and make a poll. We can have a vote and see which name we're gonna go with here. But I do think that is going to do it for this episode, you guys. If you did enjoy, please leave a like, leave a comment, help support the dream by smashing that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Peace.